give them a lot of credit. I thought they were terrific. I knew going in they were going to be difficult to defend. They were even better in person today. I thought they did a great job of dribble driving the ball. I thought they did a great job then when you shut that off of making threes from multiple players. It's a 40-minute game, but you hate to say you start to feel a little bit may not be your night when Thomas Bryant makes the three from the top of the key and then Troy Williams banks too early. And, now all of a sudden that opens up Williams' drive game, which is really his strength. And, it really opened up floodgates there. I thought they were terrific offensively and did a great job. I thought we helped them by having just poor offense in the first half. I thought we played too much hero ball. When it was 22-21, I thought we hadn't used a timeout and had some medias there where I really encouraged them to stay the course with the game plan and not get tempted, even though a couple guys had made some shots. And I didn't think we were nearly disciplined enough to do that towards the end of the half. They made a little boost on a run there to get it to, I think it was like 33-23-ish. And I just thought our guys didn't at that point. They panicked a little bit with a 10-point deficit's nothing. But I thought we took bad shots and guys tried to make plays that weren't there, and we turned the ball over trying to force feed. And when that happened, then that ignited their transition game even more and created the spread at the half of 17. Then the second half, I just thought we were atrocious defensively. I didn't think we had enough pride at that end of the floor, and I know they're hard to guard. I've watched them a lot. This morning I watched them play, Ohio State, who I have a lot of respect for, and it was 48-18 at halftime, so I know how good they are on offense. Having said that, I didn't think we controlled what we needed to control defensively. I thought we made too many game plan errors. I didn't like the look of our guys. Our leadership on the court right now has got to be better than what it is. When those moments happen in games where things don't go your way, I didn't think that was very good today. I thought our offense was better in the second half. I don't know what we shot, but it was better. 54%, 44 from three. We got to the line 18 times. We were better. We turned it over less in the second half. But our defense was so bad it didn't matter. It was just so bad, at that end of the floor. And again, give them a lot of credit, but we've got to be a lot better defensively. We got to have some guys that start to value that as much as they value making shots and the offensive end. We don't have enough of that right now. Egwu and Rice are gone. They're not here. They're not reappearing. DJ Richardson's not reappearing. Sam McLaurin's not reappearing. Those guys cared about that end of the floor. And these guys need to start caring about that end of the floor more. We're going to continue to talk about it and work the next few days before we play Minnesota. But I've got to help them with that, and some messages need to be sent. Questions?
It seemed like you were pretty frustrated with them in the second half.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, shooting 80-some%. And some of it was some good offense by them, and some of it was our guys. Like, I didn't like our body language at all, Shannon. I thought some guys hung their head. I thought their effort got affected by the deficit a little bit. We don't do that. We're not supposed to do that. Again, that's a reflection, in my opinion, of having more pride on that end of the floor, valuing that end as much as you value the offensive end, and then having some leadership out there. We need more of that on the court.
When you talk about, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
But when you talk about body language and just leadership, these guys have played some of the guys you're probably referring to. Is that something that can be learned at this point, or do they not have that?
We'll have to keep trying to get it out of them. Keep trying to get it out of them at this point. Some of them it's probably not natural for them in terms of vocal stuff, but they've got to do more of it. Like I said, a couple of those guys, their eligibility's over. Tracy Abrams is sitting in street clothes. That's not changing this season. Something we got to figure it out.
Having Big Mike back, what did you see out of his performance, and how can he help you?
I thought he was great on the glass. Obviously we've been hit hard on the glass with him and Black being out. I thought 9 rebounds in 16 minutes. I was really pleased with that. His conditioning's not where it needs to be yet, but that's not his fault. He just started. He really practiced like a day and a half. It was like a quick deal. And so I was pleased with that. I was pleased with his rebounding. He didn't finish real well in and around the basket like he usually does. He had the one jump hook over the left shoulder, but hopefully we'll get some progress there. Got to the free throw line. He's continued to shoot. Knock on wood, a career best there. Dustin's done a great job with him there. So all in all, I thought above average for sure. I was pleased, and hopefully it'll be a step in the right direction moving forward for him and for us.
If he sits, does that just stiffen up his knee? It seemed like he was up the whole time.
What's that?
If he sits, does that just stiffen up, or?
You
is
know,
it just
they haven't told me that,
Okay.
Shannon.
He seems to be
Obviously,
standing the
you
whole
saw he's
time.
wearing the knee brace.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to figure out how to play with that, you know. He's still a work in progress at this point, you know. But all in all, I thought if you'd have told me he was going to play 16 minutes and get to the line 11 times and get 9 rebounds, I mean, you know, he made some defensive mistakes, but you know, I told him he was going to probably make some. He hadn't played since November, and you know, just to work his way through it and compete and talk and communicate. And I thought he did that for the most part. I was pleased with that.
John, you've been harping on defense for most of the season, toughness for most of the season, but here we are still talking about the same things. Why do you think that just hasn't clicked with this team?
It's a great question, Jeremy, because I'm exhausted. At some point, guys got to understand, you know, what we're about, and you know, yeah, it can be frustrating for sure. You're right. I mean, it's late, you know, and you can, as I told the staff, but you could have a million excuses. You know, Bo hasn't played since November. You know, we probably have more injuries, as one coach in our league told me, than in the rest of the schools combined. Probably facts, but that doesn't. You're right. Some of these guys have been playing for the duration, or at least a lot of games, and you know, at some point they gotta figure it out. You know, they've got to figure it out, and it's our job to help them. You know, and that's what we're going to try to do starting tomorrow.
Is this your most challenging time as a coach, trying that stuff?
You know, obviously it's been a very unique season, this one and last season, with just the different curveballs that have been thrown at you, a little bit more than normal. You know, that part's been challenging, but yeah, I think, you know, maybe even more so than last year, not just because of the, you know, continuity or stability issues with the lineup, just because of guys at some point got to be, you know, I give them credit for being, you know, coachable. We got guys on our team that have great character off the court. I mean, I'd let them watch my kids, and you know, just got a 3.30 GPA as a team and broke the record again. And I mean, they're great with all that stuff. But at some point, they've got to start to develop a basketball character. And right now, that's not where it needs to be at.
I mean, 9 days ago, you played maybe one of the best games of the year to beat Purdue, and in the 2 games since, and you know, the steps back each time. And how does that
Mindset.
happen?
Mindset. It's mental. It's mental. It's execution of discipline and details. Got to be better. Got to be better. And guys got to care about those things as much or more than the staff does, and we need leadership echoing those things. You know, especially when you're not around. At the end of the day, like, you know, certainly coach's job is to lead, but you know, I remember Coach told me one time, he said, do you seriously think we're the primary leaders? We're around them like 3 hours a day. Those dudes live together, they go out together, they eat together, they're in the locker room together when we're never around them. A lot more than I am around them, and I'm around them a lot. I like being around them. But at some point, there's got to be some leadership inside those locker room walls, you know. And when those guys are out there playing, you can't play for them. You can prepare a game plan, you can do all that, and you know, as I think it was Mike Tyson said one time, everything's well and good until you get hit in the mouth on the first punch, and then it's on. You know, and right now our guys got to respond to that a lot better than what they are right now. You know, we got hit in the mouth during that. I think it was about, I don't know, I have to look at it, but 10-0-ish run to get to 33-23, right around a 10-point deficit. And then I thought from there that we cracked. I just didn't think we were tough enough mentally, you know. I thought they were tougher, you know. And our guys probably get tired of hearing that. I love our guys. I hate saying that, but I'm just being honest. They got to man up a lot more than they are right now in the areas of leadership, in the areas of toughness, in the areas of, you know, being connected and staying that way for 40 minutes regardless of score or circumstance, which is part of being mentally tough. We got to be a lot tougher right now than what we are.
What do you think you have to do to get them there?
Well, I'll keep working on it, I'll keep thinking about it, spending a lot of time with them, talking to them a lot one-on-one, meeting with them in groups, meeting with them as a team, showing them film, practicing. Don't sleep a whole lot right now, I think about them every day, but, think about ways to get our defense better and changes or, things we need to emphasize more. But at the end of the day, those guys got to care a heck of a lot more about that end of the floor than what they do right now.
Is that mental mindset something you can see in high school when you're recruiting players?
Yeah, it's interesting. That was something we talked about today. Yeah, sometimes, there's obviously limited opportunities. You really, you obviously know a kid fairly well, or, you even seem to say really well when you recruit them and you bring them in, but you really start to learn a lot more after about 100 practices. As you can imagine. I mean, at that point, you haven't had a practice with them, you haven't coached them, you find out what happens when adversity hits them and how they respond to that and how well do they learn, how quickly they pick things up, and, all those things start to show up.
Time for one or two more if we have them.
Coach, towards the end of the first half, game was still in reach, but shot selection was a big concern. Could you kind of talk about that?
Yeah, it's poor. As I said the other day, it's awful. It was awful the other day, and stretches. I shouldn't say all the time. But I thought it was awful during that run. That's what I was talking about. When it got to 33-23, I thought our offense assisted them in creating, they took advantage of it. Good teams do that, the 17-point lead. I thought our shot selection was poor. I thought they were getting layups and catch and shoot threes, and we were trying to create things that weren't there. We turned the ball over. We, guys trying to make home run plays. There's not 10-point plays. At that point, you don't need one. It's 10 points with, 30 minutes to go, 28 minutes to go. I mean, a lot can happen in basketball in 28 minutes. But our guys have got to be a lot more poised, and they got to stick to what they're supposed to do and have, more basketball character right now than what we showed in the last 2 games.
Coach, after a game like this, how do you talk to you guys and get ready for the Minnesota game on Saturday?
Tell them the truth. That's what I do.
Did you have a set number of minutes for Thorne going into this?
No.
No, okay.
I'll be honest with you, Shane, I thought he would play less than that. I did. It was just kind of a feel thing, and then once, we got there towards the end, obviously we had the deficit. We checked, and Paul will let me know if, we're doing something we shouldn't be doing. But I thought it'd be great for him to play that stretch there for conditioning purposes. So we kind of, we probably left him out there a little longer than what I planned on doing, but I thought it might be a stretch where we could get him some type of cardiovascular game shape, since he's only practiced really a day and a half with contact, So, but again, all in all, I was, I thought I was encouraged by, where he's at today. Still has a long way to go, but we got to, continue to work with him.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks, Sean.